Um, so, in just thinking about Dad's story and finding his mom, a couple specific things have kind of risen to the top of the story as I thought about it. The first one is how I I don't know why, but for as long as I could remember, I've always wished that I could help Dad find his mom. I knew it was really important to him, and um, we didn't know who she was, and there was this mystery every time we had a project in school or our kids had a project in school. You know, we had to do a family tree. We said, we don't know this whole section, it's a mystery. And I knew that, yeah, that he would really like to know. So it was in my mind, I would love to someday, somehow, help find who she is if it's possible. And sometimes I went through like calling all the MacKays in Quebec in the phone book, crazy things like that before the internet came out, but obviously that didn't lead us anywhere fast. Um, then when our own kids came along, I started to think even um, differently about how important this would be for Dad and for his mom now, because now I'm a mom, and the thought of giving my child up for adoption sounded sounds even still impossible. It would take monumental love to choose this, giving away a child because I believed it is what's best, instead of keeping the child for myself. And yeah, after some of our kids were born, I just thought there's no way I would have that kind of self discipline to to hand my baby away. Um, but thinking of Dad's mom and thinking that she did that, the courage that she had, and the the pain in her heart that must sometimes come when she thought of him, which I'm sure that she did, and just wondering like, doesn't doesn't she wonder where he is? I'm sure she wonders where he is, and I would love to help her as a mom find her child again and to see that he's doing really well and he's loved. He has a great family, and he's in a good spot. And then she could relax and know that her choice had been a good choice. It had been really good for him. So then, when we finally started giving it a good kick to try to find Dad's mom, I think my brother initiated getting the process started, and Dad and Mom jumped in, and or I don't know if it went that way or that way, but then I was able to kind of get involved with Ancestry and FTDNA and 23andMe and GEDmatch, and spend some time on there, kind of comparing different people that Dad was connected with by DNA, and comparing their family trees. And we started to see some some common spots within the family tree, and kind of divide it between, well, there's this English side of the family tree, and then this Canadian side of the family tree, French Canadian maybe side of the family tree. And that side is still a mystery. But the English side seems to be coming from his mom's branch, and we were able to follow it through, um, with prayer and with God putting different people into the process, people that were capable and willing and able to give the gifts that they had been given to help us. To me, that's super amazing. There's no way we could have um, found Grandma Corrine without Marjorie from Massachusetts, who just called kind of out of the blue and said, I'd like to get involved. I know people in Quebec in in the high offices, and I would like to get involved. Casey from California, a high school science teacher, said, I would like to take this on as my summer project. This was 2 summers ago. I would like to help you. Um, Carolyn from Washington, and a lady in the orphans court in Pittsburgh, and just people kind of coming out of the woodwork saying, I would like to give my time to help you find your dad's mom. And there's no way in the world that we would have been able to reach the answer without all of these different people. My cousin from Michigan calling and saying, I think I have an idea, I have a lead. Um, Super supportive people working together as a team to give this gift to dad and to his mom, to our family, and now to his family. So I'm just thankful that God um, works by using people who are willing to give what they have to serve each other. Um, Super fun when we finally found out that her name was Corrine Williams, and I'm trying to think, it was Corrine MacKay, now Corrine Williams. And we found her phone number, being able to call and have her daughter at first say very sweetly, I just don't think you have the right person, but I'll try to talk with her and see maybe if it might be her. And then waiting for the phone call to hear what the answer would be. And then when she called back again so sweetly and said, I'm sorry for saying that it couldn't have been her. It is her. My mom is your dad's mom, and I'm so excited to have a brother. I feel so thankful for the acceptance that dad's family, new family, has given him. Overflowing affirmation and acceptance and warmth, and we've never picked up for a minute any kind of resentment or hesitation to accept him. They've said over and over, we always wanted a brother, and this is the best thing that God has done for us. And so God has done, a great thing for them. God has done a great thing when Grandma Corrine got to meet Dad and see him, and I got to meet her and see her and sit with her and hold her hand and see that her hands seem to be my hands. They have long, thin fingers, and maybe that's where my hands come from. And to see the joy that Dad could have, that Mom could have, that we could all have in knowing this kind of unsolved piece of his life has now been kind of capped off, and God has given an answer to not only to Dad but to his mom and to his family that didn't even know they had a mystery. And then we went to meet Grandma Corrine together, Dad and Mom and I, and we got to spend some time with her, and she was sick in the hospital when we got there, and she was graciously accepting of us coming, and yeah, it was just a real privilege to sit with her and spend a little bit of time kind of being with this person that for lots of years I prayed for and wondered about and wished I could meet, and then actually to be able to be there and be with her. I think we met her in October, at the beginning of October, and God took her home at the end of November, so just maybe 8 weeks later. For after 67 years of waiting and praying and wondering, God gave her this answer and gave Dad this answer just in the nick of time, just at the right time. So overall, we're just really thankful for everything that God's done. And